Everyone is J13K White Drex, aka White. Free my brother out the county, man. So hashtag free Dilo, hashtag 017 Dilo on YouTube. Go check him out. Go get it how you want to go get it. And today, man, we're going to be talking about the whole controversy with Kwite and how his allegations were proven false by him. So props to him to being so calm and doing this professionally, because Lord knows a lot of people would have just jumped the gun and started saying this, that, he said, she said. You already know how this should be going down on YouTube, especially with YouTube, because people, and Twitter, because any accusations on Twitter that happen nowadays, it's like it's you're guilty until proven innocent, which should never be like that. By the way, how you gonna believe? Like, it's good that people believe the victim in the situation, because you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. But then at the same time, it's like, well, you're supposed to do the same with the accuser, right? Because people lie on the internet. People lie a lot. So I don't get how people can be that fucking stupid and slow to just assume everything that's being said is real or 100% factual. Like the girl in this story that we're gonna talk about, she changes her story a lot. First she said she was raped. I seen in another video that she supposedly said, I did not say that, he fingered me, which is like, well, you're saying one thing, okay, now you're saying another. It's looking pretty bad for you. So how are you gonna respond to these allegations? And she hasn't. From what I know, she's been hiding from the internet. So, you can't hide. You can run. You can't hide forever. So good luck to her, I guess. Hopefully she gets some type of help to get over this. But this is mainly her fault. This is her fault. She should be held accountable for her actions. But this is still YouTube and Twitter, so who even knows? People are gonna still try and I guarantee you, people are still gonna try and find a way to say that Kwite is the one that was the bad person in the situation. But hey, to each their own. The facts are there on paper, on video. So whatever y'all want to think, don't be at least do your fucking research beforehand. Jesus Christ. But so I did kind of jump the gun a little bit. I'm probably gonna edit it. If you don't know, if you haven't been on the internet for a couple weeks, for the last, there's this YouTuber called Kwite who got accused by some girl called Orions. But she basically accused Kwite of sexual assault back when they met up sometime in 2018, like March or some shit. I don't know. I watched the videos, but the specific dates I don't remember. It was something like that. They met up. Supposedly, he said something that about, I care a lot about you, close the door, and then proceeded to rape her, sexually assault her, whichever one. And she said that, and then Kwite came out with a response video that's an hour and 30 minutes long. So that man was giving out the facts, going down detail by detail, breaking down how everything transpired, everything to do with him and her in the past, all this, all that. The thing is too, this is the video. The video, my video is gonna be called "What Happens When You're Not Honest with Other People." Because this is what happens when you don't set boundaries with people. People tend to walk all over you, and people who respect those boundaries will not step over them, unless it's for the greater good, which is very situational. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, that goes to show that friend is actually your friend, because they'll do stuff that pisses you off in order to keep you safe. But this isn't one of those situations. This is one of those situations where the person got mad and envied the fact that Kwite had other friends and other partners, and used everything they told each other against him to make him look bad and to humiliate him online, which is a really low blow, just to say the least. This man had anonymity. He had his whole persona on YouTube was that he had a mask, glasses, and a hoodie. And what did this bitch do? What did she Oreo do? What did Oreo do? You know what she did? She leaked his face, started doxing his information now. She started giving out this information. She started saying how, I have so many secrets on you, blah blah blah. Secrets. I could do so much to hurt him, but I won't, because I'm not that type of person. Well, you are that type of person now, Oreo, because you did that. And I don't know if you think things are gonna transpire to go your way. I don't understand how people can do shit like this and think things are gonna go their way. Like there's a saying X always said that it always stuck with me, and it's what's real will prosper. What really happened is what Kwite said. You know, he has evidence. He has like like the files of y'all talking on Discord and on Skype. So for you to think that you were actually gonna get away with this is like fucking funny, bro. Like y'all is funny as hell. I mean, y'all is stupid as fuck. But hey, that's how people are nowadays. People get mad, get upset over this, over that, over this, over that. They start accusing people online, and it backfires. But see, this is bad for the general community because now people don't know whether or not to trust people who are coming out with allegations like this. Next time if something, God forbid, something happens like this again. But the truth is, and this is what it's gonna happen again. It's gonna be the same situation where a YouTuber gets falsely accused, and that YouTuber has to pay the price for something they didn't do, just because someone else decided to be a fucking dick and accuse them of something that isn't real or that they didn't do, they didn't commit, they didn't even have the intention to do. But hey, people are people. People suck. We have to work to fix those, to help those people, not to fix them, because there's a lot of things wrong with them, but to say that we gotta fix them is demeaning. So we gotta say we gotta help them, because in reality that's all they need. They need a little bit of help. They need to understand, and they need to understand that they have responsibility over what they do, that nobody else owes them happiness, nobody else owes them anything. And then this is where this whole problem stems from. She felt like she should only have him as a friend, this and that. She was more interested in him than he was to her. This is basically like a fucked up love story. This is basically like a fucked up love story, bro. Like a YouTube horror love story that went terribly wrong, bro. Like this is why you keep boundaries with people. You said, you don't lie to people. If someone is making you feel uncomfortable, you say it right then and there. If they don't stop, then you cut them off. It's not that hard, bro. So what, they keep DMing you with different accounts, bro, block them. It really takes like 1 minute of your fucking day to block them. Don't respond back to these people. They're toxic. You already know how it goes, But here, so, and I'm saying all of this because I watched this video and I noticed a couple red flags that if he would have just stopped to think more clearly instead of letting, because there's another thing too, because this man wasn't just accused of this shit. He was manipulated the whole way through to feel that sort of way. You feel me? So, well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's check it out. Here, I got a couple points. My notebook. 3504. All right. Here, so let's go.
But this is not the setup for a scenario where if these are real concerns around the topic, you'd be getting sincere or untainted answers about it. I was already worried Orion was in a bad spot, so when he asked a question of self-doubt like this, even if I did feel the way he fears, I was scared of what would happen if I said it and felt guilty for even considering it.
See what I mean by that? He felt guilty for feeling the way he did, so to reassure her, he said something that he didn't believe, which is like, you got to be honest with the people around you. That's the only way people will learn. That's the only way people will accept the truth, if they hear from someone they like. Yeah, bro. Like, it might be bad. It might suck. And she's over here saying that she's going to do this, do that to herself, But in the truth, like, if you wanted to be a good friend in the end of the day, you should have, like, and you were already being a good friend. Don't get me wrong. Like, you did more than a lot of people would have done regardless in your situation, because I would have just told them, like, bro, you're acting kind of dumb. Like, you're acting kind of weird. Like, you shouldn't be asking other people for this and that just so you can feel approved. Like, yeah, it doesn't, in the end of the day, I don't matter more than you. You should care more about yourself than what other people think about you. But some people do that to manipulate people, and this is what I'm getting at too, because this person, Oreo, only did that shit to, like, make him feel a type of way. So whenever she texts him, he'll be forced to answer, because if not, there's always gonna be that feeling in the air that she might do something to herself. And no relationship, like no friendship, no like genuine relationship, no, nothing should ever be like that. Because if you're forced to talk to someone because they might do something to themselves, then that's not a real friendship. That's not a real anything. That's just manipulation and abuse.
Ryan was very prone to start spiraling and saying awful things about himself. So my knee-jerk reaction was to think he was in distress. A fair assumption because he explicitly confirms it in the very next line. He goes on to say he is loathing himself and isn't sure if he matters. In that situation where it has been made clear I was talking to someone in a vulnerable state, I was scared of what would happen if I did anything other than try to reassure him. The setup was basically saying, I don't feel any value in myself about this thing, so I need you to constantly reassure me about it so I can keep feeling it from somewhere. And I wasn't sure if this person I know can be a danger to himself was going to do something drastic if I didn't fill that role. In the right amounts and in hard times, it is natural and okay to lean on your friends to support you. I did it all throughout these last few weeks because having my face plastered everywhere against my will with the false label of rapist immediately attached to it is emotionally taxing.
See, another example proving my point again. He was scared. He's saying it himself too. He was scared. And you should never be scared to talk to a friend. Be scared to talk to someone because they might do something to themselves. Like that's a no. That's a no. Here, my last point that
each other for 2 months total by then, Orion came to me in distress saying he felt like he needed to come clean to me about something and that he didn't have anyone else. That put me on edge. It seemed heavy and I'm apparently this person's only option. I'm thinking that if I'm not there, then he's got no one else. So I tried to be an ear for him even if we barely knew each other. Orion then trauma dumped about his self-harm this early into knowing me and told me he relapsed that night and he hated himself for it. I am flailing to comfort him despite having no idea how to do this kind of thing. And since he had said I was the only person he had to go to, it felt like I had to leave the door open for him to feel comfortable reaching out to me again. Otherwise, in the future, Orion might just hurt himself instead. A few days later, and I hear more and more about how Orion doesn't get along with his parents, until eventually Orion vented to me about how controlling his mom was and wouldn't let Orion do anything ever. Orion was berating himself here as if he was uniquely bad for having the reactions he does, and that was when I started first sharing deeper than surface level personal stuff. I was trying to relate to Orion in some way so we felt less alone in his pain. I would not usually talk about these things with someone I knew this little, but this is someone I've known for 2 months who my most notable interactions with were him being very distressed and defaulting to me for help. I felt like it was the only thing I could do to try and get Orion to stop spiraling on an issue like that.
And this is sad too because, I mean, it's not sad because he was put in he was put into that situation forcefully. Like, she shared something that she shouldn't have shared so early on into their relationship, into their friendship, and this is the side effect of it. Like, there's no one else she can blame but herself in this situation, because if you really wanted to talk to someone about it, go to someone you genuinely your friend. You were only coming to him because you liked them, and you shouldn't always do that. You shouldn't always reveal, it's sometimes it's better to wait. It's too soon, especially with shit like this. When something is too personal like that, you don't really understand or really know the other person as well as you think you do, especially online. Like, there's only so much you can know about someone online. In my opinion, that's just kind of stupid for her to do. But people are weird. They like to like set the impression in their head that they're weak and vulnerable, and then they use that so their abuse doesn't look as bad in the end of the day. But some people are weird. Some people are fucking weird. I am very sorry for Kwite that he had to even go through all this bullshit, because it must be hard on him to one day just making regular videos, then being accused of being a fucking rapist and this and that. It must be hard. So I apologize for all that. And I also know that he did say in the end of this video that he might not even come back to YouTube, which is understandable, because your whole like YouTube career basically got thrown out the fucking window the minute this bitch started accusing you and started leaking your photos online. Like, that's not cool, bro. Like, if you go, like, it's gonna be sad to see you go, because you were a pretty decent content creator. Like, I'm not gonna lie here and say I watched all your videos, because I didn't, but from time to time I would watch them and I would enjoy them. Like, you were genuinely funny. You would actually put in work into your videos, which is greatly appreciated, but it's sad to see you go. Now, he did talk about a lot of drama. And see, the reason I can relate to this is because when I was in my first relationship, that relationship was toxic, bro. Like, she would do some of the same shit that Oreo over here would do. Like, try and manipulate me and tell me shit that wasn't true. Well, in this case, it wasn't true. I don't know about her. I don't know about them. If they send each other pictures of self-harm, if she sent him pictures of self-harm, then maybe it's more like, realistic, more real. But I was in a situation where my girl would come to me over text and tell me that she was getting abused, that she was getting hit, that she would, do this and that to herself, that they would buy all types of crazy shit. The craziest thing I think she told me was that her like older brother's friend tied her up and they were like beating her or something. I don't know, bro. But then we went to school the very next day, and I'm like, so you say you got, being all scared to see her beat up and shit. I see her, she's happy, she's doing all this, and then it's like, well, you told me you had a big bruise on your arm. Like, I looked at her arm, she was fine. And then she wouldn't even talk to me about that shit. So what was the point of telling me all that? Just to like keep me sad or something? Like, and I would genuinely cry over this person because because I cared about her, and then she used that against me. And I remember another thing that he would talk about too in this video is like when we were together, like it was weird, bro. I think it was my fault too because I made a relationship transactional too, in the sense that we were like, just basically like do nasty shit together. I don't know, bro. Like I shouldn't have let the a relationship to be like that because it was me who started it like that, and maybe that's why she decided to even do all that shit, to see if I even cared about her or to see if like I just wanted sex from her. But I do, and looking back at it now, talking about it out loud, like maybe it was because of that. But why wasn't she just honest with me? And she didn't want to, because it's not like I was forcing her to do anything. Like we both agreed to it. And so it just gets me kind of, sad to think about it now that she might have been doing it all that, because from what I heard, she was telling other people the same shit. So maybe she was like, just, I don't know, just telling people shit like that. Or maybe, I mean, we were young. Don't get me wrong, we were like in 8th grade. So, the whole depression shit, like emo phase was like there. I was a fucking emo for a couple years. It's just what it was for me. But it was just kind of weird to think that she would like just keep lying to me. And I remember she was cheating. The reason I even broke off the relationship in the end was my freshman year. She was cheating on one of my friends, one of my close friends. That shit stung like a bitch, bro. And I got no idea. Like I trusted this nigga with my girl and shit. And then they both went behind my back. And then what sucked, the other part that sucked too, is all my other friends knew about it. Nobody ever told me. Except my one of my friends, Stephanie. Shouts out to her, bro. You a real nigga for life, dog. She's the only one that told me, dog. I ain't want to listen to her because I thought she was lying. But now then, someone found out that she told me, and then all my other friends ran to tell me like it was like new news or something. It's like, man, fuck y'all, hoes. But in the end of that relationship, so she was cheating on me, and you know what, this bitch even had the audacity to tell me that, what was it? She told me like, I'll give you a head if you don't break up with me. It's like, bro, that shit made me break. I literally told her, no, nigga, like I'm breaking up with you. Like ain't nothing gonna stop this shit from happening. And then, she kept on trying to text me for a couple days, but I just wouldn't answer her. Eventually, I just ended up deleting the chat and never looking back. Until now, we gotta take the time to self-reflect too. So that shit's important. Going back to your past traumas and to better understand the person that you are now, so you never go back to being that person, is very important. And I think that's something that Kwite did correctly in this video too. Even though it hurts, even though it sucks to relive those memories, it's important to move on and to actually get over whatever it is that's still there. But again, sorry to Kwite that all this had to happen to you. It sucks. Like it sucks for anyone, especially for someone like you. You were just you were doing pretty good on YouTube, man. So it sucks that you might not even make videos again. But don't let this shit hold you back, bro. People know your face now. Use it as a marketing tool. Maybe you don't have a character like that no more. Alright, cool, bro. Well, you gotta look at the bright side of you gotta look for all the good in the bad situations, because if you only look at the bad, well, that's all it's gonna be. But if you try looking for the good in it, then you can make something out of it. And for anyone who ever went through any manipulative abusiveness, like how Kwite did in the video, or kind of like in my situation, like just remember, bro, like in the end of the day, like you have the power to break it off. You have the right to break it off. Don't think you owe this person anything. If all they're bringing you is stress and sadness and a whole bunch of shit, bro, like, it's not worth it in the end. If that person's not gonna learn you being with them 100% of the time. Most of the time, it takes you to leave to make them understand the reality of the situation. It takes them losing someone to really realize what it is that they did was wrong. And that's the only way people will learn. It's sad, but it's the truth. But hey, man, it's J13KY3X, aka White, from my brother out the county, man. It's hashtag free D-Lo, hashtag 017 D-Lo on YouTube. Go check him out. Go get it how you want to go get it. Hey, don't forget, flashlights have lights. Alright, see y'all.